If you're old, like me, the Intercontinental title is the most important championship of them all. While the World Belt was always front and center, the IC title was treated as the workers' prize, meaning the best wrestlers usually had it. Often proving to be the centerpiece to which the best matches on the card were situated around, the Intercontinental Championship was drowning in prestige and love. And then WWE went and threw it in a hole. They even got rid of it at one point. Unbelievable. But not even Vince McMahon can get rid of memories. They're mine, damn it. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and this is the 10 greatest Intercontinental champions of all time. Number 10, the Honky Tonk Man. The Honky Tonk Man was not the best wrestler in the world. The Honky Tonk Man was not the best IC champion in the world. The Honky Tonk Man was not the most exciting performer in the world. On top of that, we've now said Honky Tonk Man so much, we're starting to realize what a stupid name that really is. Honky. Even with all this negativity though, the Tonk's IC title reign is one of the most memorable of all time because of how long it lasted. The record holder to this day, Honky's 454-day reign was a riot at times, especially given that he hardly ever got a clean victory. While it may have turned many off at the time, getting the Ultimate Warrior to beat him in just 31 seconds was kinda the icing on the cake. It marked another moment that we still talk about today, so he did pretty well all in all. Number 9, Santino Marella. Right. I know Santino Marella shouldn't be in this list. However, what happened to the Italian in the summer of 2008 is still something that irks me to this day, so it's time to right that wrong. Santino's honkometer, which would serve as his countdown clock to surpass the mentioned Honky Tonk Man, was brilliant. Marella had a knack for being able to pull anything off, and it should have gone on for ages. I'm talking a year minimum. Instead, it was over and done with by November when he lost the championship to William Regal on Raw. Wasn't even a pay-per-view. The late 2000s wasn't exactly a hotbed time period for the belt, and allowing the Milan Miracle to run with this idea could have given it a lot of momentum. So with that in mind, Santino, consider this your reprieve. I think you were wonderful. Number 8, Pat Patterson. The first ever Intercontinental Champion, which gives him the right to be in this list straight away, Pat Patterson had a truly storied wrestling career. Unfortunately, the majority of wrestling fans have no idea that's the case, but this is mainly to do with how successful Patterson has been since he hung up his boots. The man just gets it, be that inside or outside of a ring. The best thing about his reign was the way in which he was awarded the title. Becoming the inaugural champion on September 1st, 1979, the story told was he had unified his South American Heavyweight Championship with this brand sparkling new belt during a tournament in South America. This was complete bull, and Pat was just given the damn strap on a whim. Still though, who more deserving? He went on to make sure it had the credibility it needed. Number 7. Pedro Morales. The Honky Tonk Man may have had the longest single reign of any IC champ, but no one can match Pedro Morales for his sheer length. Wait, that sounds a little weird. You know what I mean. Holding the belt for 619 days during his 2 runs, Morales made the title feel special given who he was. A former world and tag team champion, winning the gold from Ken Patera in 1980 allowed Morales to add a serious amount of weight to it, a fact that was not lost on the audience. From fabulous feuds with Don Morocco and superstar Billy Graham, Morales not only raised his own stock, but he did the same for the title he was holding. That's no easy task, and he deserves all the credit in the world for making it what it still is today. Number 6. Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig is one of those wrestlers that should have been given a world title run, but never did. Him and Ted DiBiase. Thankfully, Perfect was so talented it didn't matter where he featured on the card or what role he was currently playing. He was always, well, perfect. This is why his 2 Intercontinental title reigns live long in the memory, because they're accompanied by a host of great matches that only Hennig could have worked. Laying his hands on the title after winning a tournament for it, the belt had been vacated, I'll have you know, by the Ultimate Warrior after WrestleMania 6, he held it for 4 months before losing to the Texas Tornado at SummerSlam 1990. When he reclaimed it at that year's Survivor Series though, forget about it. Along with his match against the Big Boss Man at Mania 7, Hennig and manager Bobby Heenan were the most entertaining thing on the show. Promos, backstage skits, in the ring, the two were untouchable, and this heightened sense of skill made the IC title feel not just important, but imperative. It speaks volumes that he even had a stellar bout when he dropped the title to Bret Hart at SummerSlam 1991, despite having a broken back. Just perfect. Number 5. Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's little doubt that the majority of Stone Cold Steve Austin's career highlights came when he was at the top of the card in the main event scene. But to forget about what he had before this would be doing him a huge disservice. The king of creating moments, anytime Austin was involved with the Intercontinental Championship, history would just take place. And not that history they teach you in school. This is real history. His first reign came in the now infamous encounter with Owen Hart, where Austin broke his neck after a devastating piledriver. His final and second was drowning in memories too. Aside from the build to it sparking off the McMahon-Austin feud, it culminated in Stone Cold getting his revenge on Hart at the 1997 Survivor Series. No one ever talks about that though. Something else must have happened that night. What came next would forever cement Austin as one of the best, however. While the two would headline multiple WrestleManias, the first serious feud between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock was over the IC title. And it was wonderful. Belts being thrown in rivers, The Rock stealing it, getting a page that just read 316. It was great and prepared both men for true superstar success. Number 4. Shawn Michaels. There's a reason many think Shawn Michaels is the greatest professional wrestler of all time, and it's not just because of what he was able to do when he became world champion. We all remember HBK hurtling Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window, but everyone seems to have forgotten what his motivations were. Michaels wanted singles success, and the first step of that journey was becoming IC champ. While he, somewhat ironically, lost in his first attempt to win it after being down by Bret Hart of all people in WWE's first ever ladder match, he made up for this at November Saturday night's main event by beating the British Bulldog for the title. Aside from acting as the catalyst that transformed the Heartbreak Kid into an almost entirely different performer, he'd come a long way from short dude that wears tassels. He proved to everybody what the title meant in WWE's second and much more remembered ladder match against Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10. It influenced an entire generation of wrestlers, and while personal pride was at stake, don't think for a second the IC Championship didn't play its part. Shawn knew what it meant, and he did what he had to do to make sure we all remembered it. And we all do. Number 3. The Macho Man Randy Savage. He may have only had the one Intercontinental title reign, but man, what a reign it was. If there's one negative towards Savage's career, it's that Hogan was always on hand to butcher his time in the world title scene. In 1986 though, before the Hulkster was ready to work his usual magic, the Macho Man made his presence known. Beating Tito Santana at February's primetime wrestling by smashing his head in with a steel object, Savage would take his name quite literally and go on a reign of terror like no other. Unforgivably mean and pulling few punches, he had wars with Bruno Sammartino, George the Animal Steele, and even managed to rack up a couple of wins against the Immortal One, although they were via countout. His crowning moment, of course, came when he lost the title to Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, a match that we still go on about in 2016. The fact it was for the IC Championship just helped its prominence even more. Randy Savage was responsible for that, and that's why he's in this list. Number 2. Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret Hart was my wrestling hero as a kid, and a huge reason for this were the 2 matches he had to win Intercontinental title gold. The first, as mentioned, was with Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam 1991. Not only did the Hitman kick out of the Perfect Plex, but the match the two put together was a roller coaster of tension and entertainment. Still holds up today. Proving that this wasn't a fluke, Bret raised the stakes even higher when he claimed his second title at WrestleMania 8 against Roddy Piper. A bloody and brutal match, the finish came when Bret reversed a sleeper by pushing off the turnbuckle and pinning Piper's shoulders to the mat, despite the hold being locked in. It was utterly different to what anyone expected, and proved that Bret Hart could have a good match with anyone, which he did, and the IC title was better because of it. Number 1. Chris Jericho. No one has held the Intercontinental Championship more times than Chris Jericho. And you know why? Because he knows what he's doing. Winning it an insane 9 times, Jericho feuded with almost everyone over the title and rarely had a bad match. Rob Van Dam, Christian, Rey Mysterio, and, of course, Chyna. Say what you will about the 9th wonder of the world, but not only did she hold her own, but Jericho knew exactly what to do in order to make the rivalry work. Few other people could have pulled it off. Never dropping the ball and proving today just how good he really is, few can touch Chris Jericho when it comes to the IC Championship. In many ways, it's his belt. He was always there to make it feel like it meant something. Know of any wrestlers we've missed? Let us know in the comments below, and then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Then come follow me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and I would like to be IC Champion, if only for a day.